Hi everybody, it's Sam at Mixed Up Craft. Thanks for watching my tutorial today. This is a slightly different intro as I would usually do, but because I have this fantastic Jacob's Ladder card, I wanted to show you it working in its full glory rather than it lie down on my desk in front of you. So this is today's tutorial. This is number 4 of my Christmas workshop, and I am super pleased with it. So that's one side, and then this is the other side. The more you use it, the more it starts to loosen up, and you can see there. Hopefully it's catching on the video. And there you go. So I wanted to show you it working first, and then that will make more sense now when we start talking through the video. Hold it back a little bit there so it's more in the light, and there you go. I've got nice little stars, sentiments, all kinds of bits and pieces stuck with my green, red, gold kind of thing, and then it all kind of folds down into this nice little parcel. And I've put a little, wobbling my screen there, sorry, because I'm off my desk here and it's on a little tripod, with the little stamp there as well. Okay, so let's crack on and make it. Okay, so you just saw my quick little video there of what we're going to be making today. This is how I've presented it. I just thought this was a nice way to do it because everybody's is going to be different sizes slightly. So to make a gift box would be hard really, because you're probably all going to have a different size or shape to what I have today. So I just thought this was quite nice, and then you can pop it just in a little red or gold gift bag, and you know, it'd just be a nice gift that way. So just undoes, I've just popped a couple of little almost like key rings really. I've just layered up some die cuts there and stuck them together, but I want to put a little bit of string so that they don't come off like that, so I will make a better way for that. And then it all comes undone, and then obviously it opens up to what you saw before. So a couple of little bits in terms of when you're choosing what you want to use for this. What I would say is make sure the ribbon that you choose, so the ribbon I'm using today and the ribbon that I've used here are you know, they're kind of like, it's hard to really explain, but you want something that when you kind of screw it up, it just kind of bounces back to its kind of, you know, natural form. If you've got any more plasticky kind of ribbons or wiry ribbons, they won't work. So if it's something that you kind of squash in your hand and it stays like that, that's going to be no good. You want something that's going to be free flowing, so that as it all drops down, it's got quite a fluid movement to it. So just bear that in mind when you're choosing your ribbon. If you do have chipboard, then that would work really well, because that's naturally got a weight to itself, so that will just fall down. Otherwise, you want to make sure that you are layering up your kind of rectangles or squares, whatever it is you're going to use, and then with what you're decorating it with as well, all these little elements here will all add weight to it, which will help it obviously fall down each time. Okay, so this is rectangle one, and this one measures, this is using the largest of my rectangle nest of framelits, and this is the biggest one is 4.5 by 3 1/8 of an inch. So if you've got those with that biggest one, and then you just want to mat the next size down, don't decorate it until you've made it. So that's the prep, I would say, if you're using the rectangle one. And then I'm just going to fold that back up, and what I'm going to do is talk you through, but this time I'm going to show you it with squares, just to show you that you can use any shapes. So you could use larger rectangles, you could use bigger squares than I've got here, but I'm just really showing you the mechanism and how it all works together. So what you're going to need is 12 pieces of square cutouts or rectangle cutouts. My largest one is 3 5/8 of an inch squared, and that's again from my nest of square framelits. And then the next size down is 3 1/8 of an inch squared. I've die cut 6 large red and 6 large green, and then I've done 6 the next size down in red and 6 the next size down in green, and I've stuck them all on top of each other. Then what you want to do, for the purposes of the video, I've done it on the green because you can probably see it better in the video. But you're going to form 2 piles. So I've got one pile of 6, and then I've got this pile of 6. And you can see here I've put some little pencil marks. Now basically what you want to do, because everybody's will be different depending on what you're using, And I just want to show you a quick way of also marking those pencils without having to use your ruler for every piece. But basically all you want to do, so this is my first piece for example, just line your ruler up and you just want to mark the central point. So this is just over 3.5, so it will be 1 and just over 1 3/4. So there's the centre there. I've just put a little bit of a pencil mark. Then I'm coming in at 5/8 of an inch on each side. Okay, now obviously I can't tell you to do 5/8 of an inch on each side if you're using a small square, because that will give you very little room to be able to make, you know, do any kind of decoration. So what you want to bear in mind is, you can see here, you want to have enough room that the ribbon holds in place, but it gives you a nice space to be able to decorate. But it just needs to be enough that your ribbon fits on. So my ribbon will line up there, and I've got a nice, I could go even further, but as long as when your ribbon's down, you've got, I would say you need to give yourself at least 1/4 of an inch. Okay? Then, so I've marked the bottom there, and then all you need to do is mark the same along the top, and then with that piece put your ruler away and then just use that piece then as a guide to go through and mark all your other bits. So here I'll just copy, it's like so, so now it's marked on that one, and just turn that one upside down. If you're using rectangles, make sure you do this on the longest part of the rectangle. So here you'll be doing it along this piece, don't do it across your shortest part. I mean you could, but you would just use pattern paper and stuff, you wouldn't really be able to put sentiments on it and stuff. And then grab your next piece, line it up, mark the pencil marks, etc, etc, and you just whiz through it much quicker than using your ruler on each piece. So you want to have a pile of 6 with pencil marks, little markers, and then 6 without. Now I've already gone ahead and put all my double-sided tape on it. I found it much better to do double-sided tape. I've got another little one here, which is the next size down, and this one's turned out well as well, but this one I used glue and I just found it to be very messy. Whereas if you use double-sided tape, I found you got great results, and it was much quicker as well and less mess. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is, and then you need three pieces of 40 inch. So I'm going to grab my first piece, and you always start, your first piece will be one of the pieces with the pencil marks. So you want to lie it so that your pencil marks are running along this way. And then I'm going to peel off my double-sided tape. Like so. Grab my first piece of ribbon, and starting on the top here, I'm just going to lie this up so it is in the middle of that pencil mark. Look at that fray bit there because it's going to bug me. There we go. So in the middle of that there, and then bring it down so it lines up so it's nice and straight, and then you want it to just lie down across the right hand side there. Grab your next piece, and again line that up with that middle pencil mark so it joins the other side, and again that's then rolling off to the left hand side. And then this last piece, again line it up that bottom so it meets the other side, and that's going off to the right hand side. So you will always have 1 to the left, 2 to the right. When we flip them over, it will then be 1 to the right and 2 to the left, but it will always be that amount. Okay, so we've laid that one down. Then we grab one of these ones, so one without the pencil marks. Again, I'm just going to remove my paper. Okay, and then because it's a square it doesn't matter and I haven't decorated it, but you want to make sure that your double-sided tape is running the opposite direction. So this is running this way, so the same direction as my ribbon. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you then want to line that down on top so you get a really nice perfect join like so. Okay, so that is one piece already done. Now the next stage is you want to bring one of these, so the top one I'm going to bring across, And again, let that kind of drape down across my desk. You're going to bring this one across the other way, and then you're going to bring this one back again. So exactly the same, but now they're all facing the opposite direction. Then you're going to grab another piece with your pencil mark, again making sure your pencils are always running in the same direction as the ribbon. Sit it on top, and then again I'm going to remove this tape. Now I should also stress that's the most important bit, is making sure that when you stick it together you then always wrap over before placing down your next one. Okay, so that one's all in place, and then again I'm going to get this top one and bring it across. Now don't pull it really taut, just just kind of wrap it around nice and in its most natural way. You just want to make sure it's nice and flat, but don't really pull it tight, because you want to make sure this will obviously fall down nicely each time you use it. And again, so I'm just doing exactly the same thing. And again, just make sure that's all lined up. The key is making sure that you get them as straight as possible. Don't worry if it's a little bit crooked. Like, as I always say, these things are homemade. They're allowed to, show that. Okay, so then we grab another one of these without the pencil mark on it, which is why you need your piles, so that you don't get confused or pick up the wrong pieces by accident. So again, it doesn't really matter, I'm just trying to follow the opposite to the sticky tape that I've got, but as long as it sticks down it's fine. So again, stick this down on top. Okay, then like I said, the most important bit is wrapping this across before you lay that next piece down. So again, that one, and that one. And then grab my next piece with the pencil mark facing the same as the ribbon. And then again, get one of the pieces without the pencil markings on and stick it on top. And you then want to repeat that process all the way until you've got that last piece. So I'm just going to wrap those ones across, pop my last one with the pencil marks on, like so, and then just lie each one across, just doing that middle one just to hold it in place, and then just snip it before it kind of falls off at the edge, because you don't want any of that exposed, because you're going to cover this now completely. So again, I'm just sticking that across that last piece and then just cut that off. Probably cut a bit more there, you just don't want all the frayed bits. Okay, and then that last piece will just then sit on top. So it is easy, just make sure you're organised, you have everything prepped, and just double check every time before you lay it down. But the actual mechanism is straightforward, and then it's just the fun part of decorating it. So now that's all together, I'll just do a little video and show you this working. So all hanging there nicely, hopefully you can see it okay, and then just hold each one up, flip it over, and it should just go down like so. I'm helping it along a little bit by shaking it, just because I haven't decorated it yet, so that, like I said, that added weight will help, but it does go. You can see there. Last one, like so. There we go. So it's really, really fun. So, okay, so I'll just quickly talk you through the decoration, because in order for you to get nice, even kind of placement of your designs on both sides when it flips over. So when I showed you this one at the beginning, so that's the first side. So that is the kind of position you want it to be first of all. So your top with one bit of ribbon, two bits of ribbon, one bit of ribbon, two, and then the base. Okay, so have this as your front first. So here I've put a nice little sentiment, so I'll put something there. I've put some stars here. and then you can look now and see what sentiments you've got that fit within that space. You can also use clear ribbon if you've got ribbon that's see-through, because then if you have got a sentiment and you want to fill that whole box, it'll be fine, and so on. So then once you've decorated that, then with it lied down, you want to flip it like so. So then if I just do this one, just so you can see, like so, and then decorate as I have again. So decorate in here, I've just put some pattern paper under that bit because you've got it going through the middle, and again put more stars there, another sentiment, stars, and so on. By doing it this way, you will make sure then that your wording and stuff is all going to fall down in the right direction, because when I first done this, I just done it on one side and then I flipped it over and done it on the other, and that's the wrong thing to do. You need to do it, flip it yourself, and then that'll bring you back to the right point. Okay, so have a play around with it as well before you stick anything down. Just make sure that it's gonna, you know, fall the right way. So maybe just put a bit of low tack masking tape or something on there, just to kind of put it in place, flip it, play with it, and make sure you're happy with all the kind of positioning of everything. But that is it. So it's really, really straightforward. Like I said, I'm going to leave this one as it is until, because I might want to personalise that one. These are all also really great for scrapbooking. You could do some really, really lovely stories. So there you have it. 2 really nice Jacob's ladders. Well, 3, because I've got another one there that I've got to finish as well. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial from me. Please hit the like button if you did, and subscribe to my channel to see more. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.